Earlier we saw that we can adjust track height in a couple of different ways. We can grab the bottom of the track and adjust it this way. We can click on this ruler type device over here and reset it there. Another place to set it is this little triangle next to the track name, so we can change it back to medium over there. And at the bottom of this is a triangle where we can view overlays, other information about a track. So those typically would be volume, mute, and pan on an audio track. On a MIDI track, they'd be MIDI parameters like these. We still get volume, mute, and pan. We have lots of other things that have to do with MIDI that show up here. Now, in the case of MIDI, we can also see velocity up here as an overlay on top of the note. But it's kind of harder to see the velocity. It's sort of easier to see it if it's kind of peeled off into its own little lane down here. Pro Tools calls these lanes. Back to notes we go. We actually need to see the clip, don't we? There we go. In waveform, we can also overlay volume on top of the waveform. Click out of there. That too is probably easier to see down below than overlaid on top of the waveform. Let's change this back to waveform, and we can open and see volume down here on the bottom. And if there were panning data or if the track were muted, that would show up here as well. Okay, one more cool thing to show you here on the left. This track is blue and this track is gold, and if I double click where it's blue, I get a color pop-up. And I can change its color to any one of these fascinating colors down here in the color palette. Used to be you could only choose colors, but now you have saturation and brightness too. So as creative as you can be with your audio, you can be with your track colors. So how can you use this? When I'm writing something orchestral, I set the strings to kind of a gold color, and then the percussion or something in the red family, and brass are kind of orange. Woodwinds are maybe bluish or maybe even brown. They kind of remind me of the tone color of the instrument. So there's lots of ways to use these colors. Something in red could be something you need to fix. I'm sure as you work in Pro Tools more, you'll discover your own system for colors and how it helps you in your workflow. And one more quick thing to show you as we move out of colors. If I hit this plus key, then I can add another lane. And the plus key adds another lane, and so I can display multiple parameters of data down here below the actual clip. And I can close down all my lanes, diamonds and every other lane, just by clicking this triangle.